Okay, these are from April 18th for the new pilots class. Have a hang up, or get hung up on, or get caught up on, or hit a snag. All these are very similar, but maybe if you get hung up on something, you can't forget it, so you can't talk about the next topic or the next thing, right? So maybe we're talking about the case there with United 1448, and we can't. Everybody becomes obsessed with it, and they can't forget it, and we can't talk about other topics. And I say, well, we don't need to get hung up on this other case here. It's not the most important thing. Okay, hit a snag, like this guy's fishing, and he gets his fishing pole or his bait stuck in a tree. He hit a snag, or it's snagged. But we use this for, when people have problems, things come up. You guys ready to go? Yeah, we were ready, but we hit a snag, and blah 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 happened. Right? Does that name ring a bell? I made another video on this. I'm gonna put it in the Kakao Talk chat. Chonnom, we can say hick, redneck, country boy, hillbilly. Remember, country boys are fun. Woohoo, a horse. Hicks are kind of dumb. Hey, is that a building? Rednecks, they work outside all day. Bill Clinton was kind of a hillbilly, they say. Maybe George Bush was more of a hick. The son, George Bush. A little bird told me. Ujung told this story today, and I said, I told that story about the fund manager in Yoido who went to Hong Kong. And people said, how'd you know that? And he said, a little bird told me, and everybody laughed. And they laughed because it was funny. But if he's not connected and he's too worried and insecure, he's not going to pick up on that joke. This is common, though. On a scale of 1 to 10, well, maybe a 3 or 4. Have the floor means you're allowed to speak. You're the person speaking. So this is the U.S. Congress, and they have people like, this guy's speaking. He says, okay, the congressman from Utah has the floor. It's his turn to speak. It's formal, but we could use it in a group discussion, or especially if people are arguing. I have the floor. Jump the gun. This guy is obviously, you're starting too soon. I don't want to talk about the cases for tomorrow. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Of course, maybe, every picture you can interpret it. Maybe he has the best hearing. I don't know. He got his degree in Momomo. He received his degree. Received is formal. Get is informal. Put someone on the spot. Who explained this today? Juho? The reporter asked the president a question, and they put the president on the spot there with that question. I don't mean to put you on the spot here with this question, but blah, blah, blah. I say this in class all the time. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or 1 shot, 2 kills. I like if you are practicing a language while you're doing something else. That's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Hey, if you do it this way, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Again, we always need an example sentence. Will versus going to. Why did I put this in here? Because grammatically, after lots and lots and lots of arguing, they're the same dang thing. Some cases, maybe one is better. Will sounds a little bit stronger to me. I will do it. I'm going to sounds more informal. But basically, they're the same. Now, people have written their whole thesis on the difference. There's pages. But ultimately, it's just a word choice, Off the cuff. We watched a video. We'll watch some videos with Jim, and a lot of his answers, I just showed him the video. So he didn't prepare and think things out. It's just kind of off the cuff, which I think is better sometimes. He answered those questions without any real preparation. He gave off-the-cuff answers, right? Off the top of your head, again, is your first thought. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think that's a 6 or 7. Pronunciation point on this, the pronunciation point is very important. 50, right? And sometimes we Americans miss it too. Podunk, some very far out of the way place. Out in the sticks, right? In the future, Jason was talking about this today, Jason, that in the future, there's going to be a lot of aircraft that have to divert to some area, okay, probably Russia, this is big, and some place in the countryside, out in the sticks, and some controller who doesn't speak English very well. I don't know where. I don't know. It's somewhere on the sticks. You know, where's Daejeon? I don't know. Very far away. Podunk, less common. Out of the way. Out in the sticks, I would say is common. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 7. Geez, I crack myself up. Crack myself up means make myself laugh. I showed you a video with Top Gun where Maverick says it right after he takes the photo, after he takes the picture upside down. Geez, I crack myself up. Geez instead of Jesus. Another example sentence, we were cracking up in class, trying not to laugh because the teacher was on our backs yelling at us. And you're 15, 20 years ago, nobody said Daybach. I think very similar in Spanish, they will say, I'll try it here, que fuerte, no? Que fuerte. How strong. Nanjikpan? Chaos, bedlam. It was a hot mess. Hot mess is kind of another common term. It was horrible. It was terrible. It was a tragedy. Good God. These are common things. You'll swear, curse, cuss, use foul language. Cuss is very American. Hey, don't use cuss words. Stop swearing. Confucius is this Gongja. Confucianism is the system. Was it Yu-Gi-Oh? So, example sentence, Confucius was a scholar who said many things. Some of the things he said were written down in a book, and I think the title of the book was called The Sayings of Confucius. Because remember, sayings is for like Jesus or important things. Or Yesunim, Buddha. Chew out. Now again, I think this one in Korean is much more serious. In English, it's a little bit less serious. But the basketball coach chewed out the team, or chewed the team out. You put it in here because they were too slow. Susel, gibberish, or a garbled message. I was on the subway. I heard, my friend said, I thought you speak Korean. You can't understand the subway guy? Nah, it's gibberish. It's a garbled message. Your last message was so garbled I couldn't understand it. Okay.